All right, we are back. It is episode 12 of the Hacking with the Homies podcast. Um, Mac, are you ready?
I'm always ready. I'm always ready. I was just sharing the podcast out to people on my phone. But hey
Oh yeah,
everybody.
shoot, I forgot. I have to do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I wasn't slacking like I normally do. I was actually about to post about it actually. But I'm
Um,
excited though to be back though.
yeah, I feel like we're still doing these on the same cadence, but I don't know why it feels like the time is just like dragging on in between. So, um, today, well, we are in the thick of it. We have our conference coming up. It's only like 2 months away now, and we have projects
Mhm.
and all kind of other fun stuff happening. So, I think that's starting to show a little bit,
Yeah, just a
just a
little
little.
bit. Just a little bit. But I'm excited when me and you were prepping for this, come check us out, is that we're seeing so much stuff going on in the markets, right? Like it's crazy. Like we've been hearing about Nvidia, we've been hearing about Bitcoin's been blowing up. And typically, we're not an investment show, but I definitely think sometime as developers, software engineers, name the title, is that we kind of forget that people are making money from an investment standpoint
Yes,
from all
yes.
these innovations, right? So we need to be tuned in to what's happening. And I can't say I'm a big I'm not here sitting here following uh the investments, but I like man I've like everybody else I've bought some Bitcoin, some alternative coins, and boy oh boy, I have like a 0 point. I could tell you what I have. I have like a very I use Coinbase, y'all. I have let's see, I'm logged in now. I have 0.06, right? 0194 of Bitcoin. Like this stop at the 0.06,
I was like, okay, 0.06. Okay, gotcha,
yeah, yeah,
gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
So my 0.06 right now of Bitcoin, I have to go back and look what I bought it for, but it's at $4,000. And then I have 12 Solana, that's at $2,400. And then I got some basic coins, EOS and Cardano and some other things like that. They're not much, 126. But man, my account it was before like $3,000, I think, the last time I checked months ago, and it's at 7. So I thought we should talk about this.
It's funny because the only like crypto based thing that I've ever really done anything with was because what, like 5, 6 years ago, y'all were like talking about Ripple. Ripple was like the thing that
Oh
was
yeah.
coming out at the time. And I like it makes my brain hurt just think like trying to follow all the crypto stuff. But I feel like I wish I was more in tune, especially like the crypto side, which is obviously a big area, but not even just that, like you said, Nvidia, being a software engineer and seeing like the whole chat GPT craze kick in and seeing like the ML craze kick in, I feel like it's something wrong. There's a disconnect when my brain didn't immediately think like, oh, graphics cards, like companies that have graphics cards. And like a bunch of people went out and like invested in Nvidia, for example. And that was just like, oh, duh. I should have thought about that, but at the same time, I'm not really into investing or anything like that. So I'm like, I'm just kind of curious how how do you think about those types of opportunities? Because usually I hear them coming from you.
Right. So I, so even with me, like usually I'm looking for. I've always been something like so. My dad taught me the stock market when I was like very young, like 7 years old, and this was at the time that the way you got this because I used to read the paper and it would be like all these little numbers. So I don't know if you remember, but in the paper, I don't even know they still do this now, but they actually published the actual the stock prices from the previous day in the newspaper.
Yeah.
So it was like all these little like ticker symbols, and it's like a whole page is like the print of like point 0.8 or point 0.6. Like, it was so I was like, what are you reading? And I was fascinated about it because he's like, yeah, I put money in, years ago, and so I just now just kind of follow the stock. So I'm like that type of investor. I'm not actively looking at stuff. Um, like the stuff I invest in, yes, I'll look at it every day or something like that. But I'm not like trying to find new stuff to invest in every day. And I'm
Right.
like you. I hear about something because I used to watch every day it was on Bloomberg. It's a show Bloomberg Technology, I think it's a show. And it used to,
Okay. Yeah.
so I used to watch that show like religiously, and they would talk about all the stuff that's coming up, and then that's how I would start thinking about, okay, do I have a little extra money? Can I invest in it? And then from there, I'll share with all my friends, you and everybody else about the stuff that was going on. So that's how I look at the bubbles. Now, Nvidia, I I slipped on that one. Like I should have like knew that was going to be um big. I just didn't take the time to really sit down and invest in that.
I think it's funny because it's like we spend so much time. I mean, we've been spending even for the past few years, like we put so much energy into machine learning just personally, right? Learning it and getting more
Yeah.
involved, having programs around it and everything. So it's like it's very easy to get caught up in the moment of building the thing and not necessarily paying attention to the bigger conversation, I think. So I don't know. You just gave me the idea too that I think I'm going to start putting my TV back on some channels like I liked MSNBC or they have millennials. We got the channel. It's called like Crack Cheddar. I almost said Cracker. It's called Cheddar though,
What is that? That's a
and
channel. Where's that channel at?
it's
Where's the
like
is it on Twitch or
most
what is it?
all streaming services. No, all streaming services have it. I
Oh,
don't
it's a
know if they
streaming
have like a
channel. That's a
live
streaming
TV
channel
channel. Yeah,
called Cheddar.
it's
Okay.
it's called Cheddar, and it's more to me. It's more millennial themed. But you could think of like an MSNBC or something like that. They just talk about like investment opportunities, business, what's going on in the business sector, stuff like that. Um, and I was watching it for a while, and that, like you said, I think maybe that would be helpful. But even just like having these kind of conversations, I think for a more general perspective, me being I didn't have anybody like teach me the stock market or anything like that, and then even working in the startup space, sometimes a lot of times mostly developers think about making money off of maybe you get some type of equity in a company or something like that, which is like actually more rare than just being like, oh, you know what, I don't work for Nvidia, but I can see all these companies need graphics cards. They're probably going to, their stock's going to go up or something like that. Just kind of having more of that mindset around it versus just writing code.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always thinking like I don't want to miss out on something. But I am very focused in how I do my investing though. I learned time a long time ago, like I don't invest in stuff I don't understand. So I think that's a little bit with the Nvidia stuff. Like I'm not really a hardware guy, you know what I mean? So I'm more of a software guy. So obviously all the cloud companies blowing up. I'm investing in AWS. I'm investing in Microsoft. I'm investing in Google. But I just haven't been focused on the hardware vendors, and I think I need to spend some time. Well, that on the Nvidias of the world, because I think there's other players in that market, but Nvidia is definitely leading it. Um, but also we were talking about this earlier, is that I think also EV chargers is something that we
Oh
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
spend some time looking at those companies. One company is called Wallbox,
Hmm.
WALLBOX, I think it is Wallbox. Yeah, Wallbox. They're a public EV charging company, and I think they're headquartered in Spain. Actually, it's funny, but like these companies are going to right now they're selling this kind of dumb chargers. Think about this. All of this is really what they're selling is a dumb iPhone charger, but it just has a lot more amps to it. And by the way, it would kill you if you get in the middle of it. I mean, so so yeah, I mean, but they're really just
It's not the fanciest of the chargers. Is that what you mean?
well, I'm just saying in general,
When you say
chargers. I'm just in general, chargers aren't like isn't like they're super sophisticated. What they do is basically take energy from the power grid, and it has a
Mhm.
resistor in it to ensure that you don't like burn your car up. And then you plug it into your car, and it meters it for you. And
Right, right. Okay.
yeah, I mean, so it's not complicated. And yes, they have software, a little app that you can use to see how much power is going through. But I don't think that's where that's just the beginning, right? I mean, these companies are going
Hmm.
to go for domination, right? They're going to want to um figure out how to be more part of the consumer's life, right? And just imagine that down the road every house will have some type of EV charger in it.
Yeah.
So, and everywhere you go, like I was just reading something on. So my place right now, because you talked about cheddar, my place right now is called
Right.
is CNBC is where I go now, the streaming channel,
Hmm.
and they have, even though I'm not a millennial, they have a series called Millennial Money, and
Yeah, I
they
like that. I
actually
like that stuff.
you like that? So Millennial Money
Is
and
that
Millennial Money, they also had a series that talked about, and part of this they talked about what's happening in Norway. Like Norway is 97%, like 97% of their vehicles are EVs now. So just to kind of see what the future is going to be like, I definitely think it'll be
yeah.
it'll be worth people investing a little bit of money. Because right now, like Wallbox, for example, and you talked about Ripple. We invested in Ripple, which is another alternative coin, when it was like 27 cents. And this was like years ago. It hasn't like grown crazy. It went up to like $1, and now it's like at a 69 cents. So, but like Wallbox right now is $1.46. So take, for those who's listening, if it's not just that company, and by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, so take this with a grain of salt, and please review it on your own.
Right,
That's
right,
my
right,
disclaimer.
right.
Take $500 if you have it, $1,000, and buy almost 1,000 shares of this wall box. And worst case scenario, they get acquired. I think they're a little far along to go out of business because I think there's enough room, but there will be some people that go out of business. Um, but anyway, I'm just trying to say, just get involved. There's money out there that we could be using it. We could be putting money in, and then reaping benefits down the road.
I thought it was good too. You were saying like mentioning what's going on outside of the US because that's the big thing. Like with EVs, it's way bigger in other countries than it is here. So
Mhm.
I feel like that kind of keeps it off of some people's radars as well. Maybe something, we're like, oh, maybe, maybe not. I feel like the US is kind of iffy on EVs right now, as far as,
Right.
whether people think everything's going to be electric or not. But realistically, like around the world, it's definitely a lot more established. And that, that can kind of give us some perspective as well. But yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
that Millennial
So,
Money
so,
show too, and I'm about to look that one up.
so the interesting
I
thing
want to
about
see
Norway.
who are the other competitors.
Yeah. There's Juice Box. There's um, Charge Point. There's a bunch of companies that are competitors. Interesting thing about Norway, though, is that Norway is a very rich country, which I didn't know I read this. Until I listened to this kind of documentary. It's only like a 5 or 10 minute documentary. The reason why they're rich is because of oil. So they
Mm,
basically produce a lot of oil. And what they were smart enough to say is like, we're going to sell our oil in order to fund the tax credits and rebates that we give people to go all electric because it's going
mm.
to get rid of the pollution that we have in our country. So basically, they like, y'all, everybody else, y'all buy our junky, dirty
Y'all
oil.
buy the oil, then
and,
y'all use it and burn up y'all atmosphere while we over
and
here breathing clean.
yeah, we're gonna use all the money that we get, and we're gonna make it make our lives better here. So I thought that was very very intriguing. So um, here goes the
Definitely.
here goes the other thing though. Like I think that to your point, I think we get caught up as developers. Like, man, all right, I want to get equity in this company. I want to be so so I want to find a company that's going to be venture backable, so I can work for them and get rich off that. I'm just saying that let's hedge our bets. So let's take some of the money that we're getting from some of these startups, and some of these startups are paying well, right? Because they're venture backed, and let's put some of these money in others areas. Diversify your money so that yes, if the company pops, which we all know, a lot of these companies don't pop. They don't really get to a point where they're to a point where they're in a position that you actually start realizing that equity is just paper money. So let's just take some of that money and put it in places where companies are farther along, and hopefully that'll reap some benefits as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be taking some time to just like look into it, and I'm grateful that other people around me always bring it up in one way or another because that helps out a lot. And we wanted to just talk about it today because I feel like I said, for a lot of us, this is not like a top of mind thing that we think about. Like, oh, you know what? I'm so intrigued by this specific technology, but where is that industry going? And like, yeah, how can we possibly um help prepare our future selves. I mean, I got a kid now, so we need we need to make sure he going to college and the kids after that is going to college and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm going to put Cheddar on and look into some other shows. But now we have apps and we have all this stuff. So there's so many resources out there. I think you can even invest in like through the Cash app now. Like back before there was like Coinbase and some other ones, and that was like revolutionary at the time.
I think these apps are pretty dope because you can actually, because before, like, if you wanted to buy, like, at one point some of these stocks were like $1,000 a share, right? I think Nvidia is starting to get to that point where I don't know what Nvidia is today. Let's see, Nvidia, that's $881. Um,
Mm,
and there's like Robinhood that you can buy a percentage of a share. So you don't need to buy a full share.
mhm.
So let's just say, you don't have $881, but you can buy in consistently a percentage of a share, and then you'll get to a point where you have a full share. Um, so that may be an approach to use for this. But I like another thing that's happening right now for those have not been following Reddit is about to IPO. Um, and,
Oh, I didn't
and
know
I
that.
and like my Robinhood
Mhm.
app. So usually you would what to know a share up for public sale. Let's see here. I don't know when Reddit is going public here. Let's see when they're going public. Um, they are. Let me see. Let me see if I can see the Nasdaq public
Plan
company
for March
public
21st.
schedule.
March 21st.
Is that
Yeah,
what they say? March 21st.
March
Uh,
21st.
okay. Um, yeah, you're right. Yes, it is March 21st. So I definitely like my Robinhood app because my kids. I wasn't a big fan of Robinhood, but my kids were like, you should get a Robinhood account, blah blah blah. So I got a Robinhood account, and usually IPOs are not something that the general investment community can actually be a part of. Usually you have to have a certain amount of net worth and things of that nature in order to do this. But Robinhood and other companies alike has made it easy for common folk like us to be able to be part of that IPO. So my Robinhood app was like, hey, Reddit IPO is about to happen. Go read it, come read about it. And I'm assuming if I went to my Robinhood app, um, I can probably um, put in an order or something to do it. So I'm not like a big Reddit user, but a lot of people are.
But a lot of people are. It might not be our cup of tea necessarily, and that's the thing too. Because even with a lot of this machine learning stuff, I'm like, there's so many things that we're not even thinking about that are gonna come from like new companies, even in the development world, new companies are emerging because our existing tools don't serve the purpose of what you need for that particular workflow. So, um, I know. I mean, my brother, he only goes on Reddit. I go on there like occasionally, but some people live on Reddit.
Yeah, I didn't. And I read it when I'm looking for, I'm trying to learn about a particular I'm sorry, I'm interested in this. I agree. I'm actually putting myself on the list here for start request. Okay. I can actually buy some some um some shares of Reddit. So request to buy Reddit. I don't understand. It says 0.88 available. So maybe I only can buy um a certain amount. Let me just try and see. Can I buy? I'll buy estimated cost $2. I'm just gonna try and buy some. Okay, I'm just gonna try and buy a couple. I'm gonna buy it's a $2, three. I want to buy. Oh no, not 23 of them. Hold on, let's see. Because I never bought like this. So I'm gonna go. So I don't have enough buying power. So I need to make a deposit, and I'll do it. So anyway, I'm gonna make a deposit in a second. But interesting, like at least now, if you're on, Robinhood, and you believe that Reddit will make money, if not on the IPO, but down the road, because sometimes as soon as something goes public, everybody, all the early investors who got in really early, they'll make their money, and then us peons are left kind of holding the bag. But over time, the stock will increase in value as the company becomes. I don't know if they're I haven't even read anything about them, so I don't even know if they're profitable or not profitable. But whatever, over time, they should increase in value if they're doing the right things as a company. Um, so you know, go to Robinhood and buy yourself some shares. This be a good test. You don't have to buy a whole bunch. I'm just going to buy three of them. It looks like they're going for like $41 a share. I'm just going to buy three to test this thing out, and that's $122. And so just a good way to start.
Yeah, I was downloading the app. I don't know if I ever used it before. Um, so yeah, I'm glad that we can bring other conversations like this up. Like we haven't had the space. I think um some things are really technical. We do the conferences coming up, obviously, and things like that. But there's so much more to the daily aspects of our lives as developers. And I just feel like, I noticed this back when ChatGPT was becoming popular at the end of the year last year, really, because I was sitting down and trying to explain like how the bigger company relationships were like a part of this conversation. And I was talking to my sister who also is a developer but is not as experienced and has not worked in the startup world. So it was just
Right.
very interesting because when I was having that conversation with her to kind of break it down, like, oh, well, this company is putting this much money in, they're getting like these types of benefits out of it, just having a deeper conversation. I realized that we don't even have those. A lot of times we don't have those conversations, or we might not have exposure like that because even before I started seeing how startups work behind the scenes, I had no clue. I thought like, oh, if your company gets acquired, that means like you failed. It's like some people like that's a lot of people's whole goal is to exit the company. Like, but so I had very limited knowledge. So just even being able to have more of a more understanding to pass that information on to me, it was like that's kind of a game changer.
It is. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, man. I think everybody's looking for an exit. I mean, I'm still learning this whole VC world. Um, I think that as I learn more about this, um, VCs are all about exiting. Like they want to build a company and then they want to sell. And for me, for the longest, even for the companies I own now, like I'm starting to start thinking like, you know what? That's why and me and you talk about this all the time. It's like, and this again, this is form of investing for all those are out there, is that building a company that has products and services. So having products that you can sell that makes money without you being directly involved is really what I want to do, and I think Jessica, you as well, because those type of companies you can sell and walk away from it, and whoever you're selling it to will be able to make reoccurring revenue because you built up the business. Like one of my
Yeah.
friends is building a this is kind of up our alley, just because they're building a EV charging network. So they're going and buying EV chargers and putting them in. They're working with new construction hotels, new construction
Mm,
apartment buildings, and they're building a network. They have like 100 of them deployed so far. So their goal is to get to like a couple thousand and sell, because guess what? Every day these chargers are just
yeah.
making the money.
Right.
And so
Right.
I didn't even think about it. I was like, man, I met with him yesterday, man. I was like, yo, that's dope. Didn't even think about that. But so I think, um back to the whole point you made, is that with VCs, um, they really, well, this people and companies um who are building companies, yes, they want to sell them. They want to get acquired because that's a great exit. And I'm starting to feel like I that's what I want to do too, all day long.
Hmm. Yeah. So it was interesting to me, especially seeing the concept of a serial founder, and then you will realize a lot of the big CEOs or the big founders of the companies that we're so familiar with, they've actually done this multiple times. You wouldn't even realize like, oh, so and so, this person was the CEO of that company too, and that one also, and they all all of those companies are very successful. And I have been grateful to be in those environments too, because now it makes it a lot easier to understand that, and then kind of expands out your entrepreneurship brain. Because I think in like the traditional entrepreneurship to me growing up was like, why would I want to sell my business? That's the income for
The
your
family.
family. You think of mom and pop shops or
Yep.
or family family businesses and things like that. But there's just so many more aspects to it. So I'm like, I don't even know where the right source is to get some of that information, but I feel like that's a gap I would love to work more on.
This is a little bit off subject, but I like your keyboard. Where did you get it from?
Oh,
It's
thanks.
like
this is this is a
like you.
Ducky One Two Mini. I don't think you'll like this one though, because it doesn't have
Okay.
arrow keys. But you can get
Uh,
a slightly bigger one.
I don't. So I use VI for my development, so I don't really need those keys. So
The arrow keys. Well,
yeah,
I
V.
they're available on the function key. But yeah,
Okay.
this one is a Ducky
Mhm.
One Two Mini. I bought it a
Yeah,
while ago.
that's the interesting thing too. I went to Best Buy the other day. This is going towards kind of the investment thing. They just need to shut down. They just need to shut down and only open up during Christmas and holidays because there's literally nothing there. Like there's nothing there. Just TVs. Like they need to just become the TV spot. Like the only reason I go there is for
Which
TVs.
one did you go to though?
Well, I mean they
I
have
don't
other
know.
stuff
I
there.
mean,
Don't
I
get me
have
wrong.
been seeing some. I have been seeing some Best Buys closing down for sure.
Well, no, don't get
A
me wrong.
lot
I
of
mean,
them
there's. I
actually.
mean, and by the way, I am being facetious because sometimes you need to go there and just grab something really quick versus waiting for Amazon to ship it to you. But there, there's like I was looking because I wanted a new like light for my camera, like a light for streaming, one of those ring lights, and they used to have them there, but they don't have them anymore.
Yeah,
They don't even have a camera section anymore. Like they used to have. I think I bought my camera from them, but I didn't. I don't think I saw
yeah, yeah.
cameras there anymore. So
I think they're slowly struggling out of existence.
Amazon has changed the game. So I definitely think
Hmm.
Amazon is a stock you need to own because um, I just think that there are so many different areas that it's just a matter of time before they because right now they're buying so much stuff. I haven't looked at their 10K or any of their stuff, but I'm assuming the price hasn't blown up because they're buying so much stuff. I mean, that's the big thing about Jeff Bezos, right? He like he goes and buys all this stuff. He like losing money, aka the bookstore, right? He first started Amazon.
Hmm.
He went and built this thing. Never, he didn't make any money on it. All that good stuff. He just kept investing, and then over time, he started generating all this cash. And I don't know. I'm a big fan. I think they're putting out a lot. They're putting a lot of businesses, traditional businesses, out of business. Um, I don't know, man. I have mixed emotions about it. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, he's killing everybody, but then I'm like, man, this is so nice to be able to order what I want and it comes the third day. You know?
And we got same day delivery now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And I
Actually, oh, here's another thing I saw recently. I had a pickup option. I had an in-person pickup option for something I looked for yesterday. And you know where the pickup was?
what?
Office Depot.
Mm.
It was Office Depot. I don't see. You gotta watch what these companies are doing behind the scenes. It's like it'll be little things here. So yeah, Amazon. I don't know. I've never seen this anywhere. I've never seen this before. I'm always on Amazon, so I know when new stuff pops up. And
Right.
they had when I was looking for some something for the office. I can't remember what it was, and it was like, oh, you have a pickup option. I'm like, what is the pickup option? I'm thinking like, are y'all doing like some little Amazon centers or what? And it was actually Office Depot, a local Office Depot where I could just like go and pick up something in person. So I'm wondering like, are they partnering or are they going to start letting companies provide services like in person services? That would be smart. That's what
But
Best
but
Buy need.
but here's the deal. Like Amazon is they just learn from the best, right? Because if you remember, there was a company called Kinko's, and then
I
what happened was that FedEx went and bought Kinko's, so now they became, I don't know what they're called, FedEx Kinko's. I don't know what the name of they are. But it was a power move, right? Because now we need to go print something, ship something, you go there. I think Amazon is smart. I think they're gonna, they've already kind of did that with their acquisition of Whole Foods, right? You can do a lot of the stuff that you
Yeah,
want to do around
yeah. Now
shipping
you
and
can
picking
get
up
grocery
packages.
stuff in person.
Yeah, all that
Yes.
stuff.
Okay.
Now, if they do Office Max, Office Depot, I mean, it is a natural progression to them. And then the other thing they did recently, I don't know if you've been seeing the advertisements, but now they are becoming a shipper. So if you are a company that ships products to people, instead of having UPS or FedEx as your shipper, you can have Amazon as
Amazon
your shipper.
Logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because Amazon Logistics now handles most of the like when we have same day delivery stuff. That stuff all comes through Amazon Logistics.
so I hold UPS as an investment. I am going to get rid of UPS because I do think that that Amazon will dominate that market. I think FedEx is still going to be around because FedEx is just they've been around the game. They got too many freaking airplanes. Because you really think about it, that's how FedEx got big. They
Mhm.
got big because they were able to do stay. They were able to do next day because they have a fleet of airplanes. They were buying all these airplanes that were out of service, right? So airplanes that couldn't no longer, they were too old, like fly regular passengers. They would buy them, and then
They
they
said, "Put the
yeah,
boxes in there."
put the boxes in there. Put the
No,
boxes in
no
there.
safety issues.
Right, right, right. So
It's
yeah,
smart, I guess.
so I think it's going to be interesting. So I'm bullish on Amazon. Um, Anyway, so I can talk about this all day, but I know we got other stuff to do. So maybe we go to the next
Yeah.
segment and talk about shameless plugs. What's going on with you, Jessica?
Why do I feel like I always blank even though I should never? Okay, so today is day 74 of 365 days of code. So I
Woo!
just want to put that out
Yeah.
there. I've been live every single day this whole year. So even if I don't make it another day, that's something. That's something. Because I think that's my best like consecutive streak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep, we got the MVP developer program going right now. I've been thinking about doing this project. I'm going to do this soon. It'll be something that we live stream, but uh there's a lot of free, have you heard of free code camp, or there's a lot of
Mhm.
these other like free online programs, right? I
Yeah.
think the gap that a lot of people have is, you don't have access to an instructor, and that is kind of a downfall of, having to self-teach online. So I figure instead of writing the curriculum, I want to teach some of the open source curriculums. So I'm actually planning on doing this later in the year. I'm going to launch like 2 nights a week. Um, Running a boot camp with the free code camp curriculum. So people wouldn't have to pay; they could just come to the live streams, sign up. They'll have support and things like that. So that's the biggest thing that I'm working on right now. And then of course we have our conference coming up. So that's all I really care about right now. It's my heart, May 11th. Hold on. I got something for you.
So
Banner.
you got something for me? Okay, let's see it.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Oh, look at that. Yeah, so it's gonna go
Yeah.
down. I mean, we got call for papers. So this is really what I want everybody to go do. If you're listening to this as a replay, take some time, go to Hacking with the Homies. We have a link up there, call for papers. We want more people who have never presented before. I want you to put in a call for papers. I think it'll be a great way. We have people that has been doing this since the first year, and it's really and like really like increase their stock in the
Yeah.
ecosystem. So they really, this is just great experience to be able to get known in the ecosystem across the US. Really the only conference that's been built for Black and brown software developers. So just, really think about it, and just take some time and just fill out something. You don't even need to be complicated. I know you're like, oh man, I'm busy, I don't got all this stuff to do. We're not asking for a lot of information. Just really your name, email address, your LinkedIn profile, and just like a little description of what you're trying to do, and then we'll figure out the rest. We have a really simple format, so take the time to do that. No idea is too small or dumb or not exciting. We can make it pop for sure. But that's, I
Yeah, I'm
mean,
excited
yeah,
about that.
yeah. So that's it for me.
All
I'm focused on that. So this has been a great episode. I'm glad we talked about this, because this is something that I think hopefully a lot of other folks are they're able to like get out of their developer mind for a minute and just think about long-term investing mind. So it's cool.
Yep, I'm literally in the onboarding flow for Robinhood. So we will definitely be back next month for another episode. I'm actually looking forward to the next Train X episode though, because this industry is just so crazy. Like machine learning right now is just like you literally cannot keep up with it. I wanted to talk about that, but I'm like, we gotta wait for the Train X episode, because what is your boy, what's his name, Elon, Elon is being Elon. So we're gonna talk about that on the
Yeah,
next episode.
yeah. He sure
Um,
is. But by the way, just real quickly, he's trying to create chips too. He's trying to create GPUs as well. So watch out for
He
Elon. So
he
he mad
creating
he
GPU.
yeah, man, he
He's
mad at
suing
man,
OpenAI.
he mad at OpenAI. So look out for him. He on a war path. But you know what? I ain't mad at
Yes.
it. I'm if he whatever he does, I'm gonna put a little money up, see what he do. Cause that Tesla cold. That
He
Tesla and that SpaceX is
he
cold.
know how to make he
So
know how to
he
make money. I don't get
yeah, part of that. I don't know. Anyway, all right, y'all. Well, it's been great
it.
hanging out again. We'll talk again next month from the Train X podcast.
Yes, we'll see y'all in the next episode. Feel free to follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/at hacking with the homies. And you can find us on hackingwiththehomies.org. See you all in the next show.